Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Disney World Vacationer. I am your host, Tiki Lagoon Sam, here, and I'm really excited today to bring you a trip report. This is the most recent trip that I went on to Disney World in December of 2020. So early in December, and this was actually my second trip within the pandemic time frame. So before this, I had gone in August of 2020. So I had a wonderful trip there. And just to kind of give you a little background, in the end of 2019, I became a Disney Vacation Club member, a DVC member, and we had originally planned a trip in May of 2020, and that got pushed back because of everything that was shut down. Eventually, it got pushed back to August 2020. We went in August of 2020, had a pretty good time, but some of the things that we ran into was that everything was closing so early. The hours of the parks were closing early, and we are late risers. We don't wake up early in the morning. We like to eat dinner late, stay up, see the parks in the evening time. So that was a little difficult. So I, before that August trip, I was already thinking we want to also go in December because we love the parks during the holiday decorations and the holiday times. However, when we got back, I was questioning on whether to actually go in December or just put off going until things get more back to normal. Well, time went on. I didn't book December of 2020, and if you don't know, like DVC reservations, they usually tend to go quick. The rooms are rented out and sold out, oftentimes anywhere from 11 to 7 months in advance. However, because of the pandemic going on, a lot of people weren't traveling, so there's a lot of availability. So about a month before the December trip that I originally wanted to go to, end of October, we decided, you know what, we're gonna go to on the trip, and the one of the deciding factors was they were updating the park hours, and it showed that the parks were gonna be open later than they were in our August trip. And then we said, yep, we'd like to go, and we'd like to see the decorations again. Let's go and enjoy ourselves. So we did end up going, and I have to say we made such a great decision on doing that. And for those of you who aren't sure when is the best time of year to go, especially if you can only pick one time in the year to go. Oftentimes, like I like to go also in May because of the Flower and Garden Festival, the weather and all that. But, comparing it and going in December, even during a pandemic, hands down the best time to go is early December, before the crowds come in for Christmas and New Year's, but being there when the Christmas decorations are all up and all the festivities are going on. So that's the best time to go. So we ended up booking for 11 nights. So it was almost 2 weeks. We started. I booked 3 nights at the Wilderness Lodge. So it was a DVC tower. So that's called the Boulder Ridge. It's a standard studio room that has a queen bed and a pull-out sofa, and then it also has a pull-down trundle bed underneath the TV. So it's 3 beds in total, and we're 3 adults. And then I also booked 1 night because we wanted to try it out, the Animal Kingdom Lodge Savannah view in their main building, Jambo House. We did that 1 night, and then the rest of the nights I booked the Polynesian, Lagoon View studio. And Polynesian, I gotta say, is unbelievable. I just gotta reiterate. So that was our plan, and that's what I booked. So for as far as beginning the trip, we took a red eye flight from California to Orlando. And we like to take red eyes when we go on our trips because it gives us a full day when we get there, instead of getting there like in the late afternoon or nighttime and paying for a room or booking a room and pretty much losing out on the whole day and just going to bed. So we like to do a red eye. So I did a red eye on Saturday night, early December. Our flight was with Delta at 11:30 p.m. And what's great about Delta, which is my favorite um, airline to fly with, they're really clean. They hand out hand sanitizer packets and water bottles. They give you a little towelette so you can wipe down your area if you'd like. They blocked out the middle seats, so all the middle seats were blocked out. And we got to Orlando International at Orlando time, which was I believe it was 6:30, or no, it was 7 a.m. We got there at 7 a.m. The flight was actually full, but again, all the middle seats were blocked out, so that was really nice. And one thing I do recommend is if you're traveling during these times is to use an N95 mask, because those filter out the air like over 90% versus if you just wear the little standard blue surgical masks or like a cloth mask, that's like 30 or 40% filtration. So especially for being in a tight space for an extended period of time, because our flight was like 4.5 hours, it was much more comfortable knowing that the air was filtered even more with the N95 mask. But when we got to the parks and we got to Disney, they are so clean and everything just, you feel really safe there. We just wore the standard, like the surgical mask, the blue surgical mask, which wasn't an issue as much as it was in August, because August is really hot, very humid. We were sweating. We had to always take breaks every I would say 30 minutes or so, going through air conditioned places just to cool down a little bit. But in December, it was actually really cold, and I felt like it was a good thing wearing a mask. It was more comfortable wearing a mask than not wearing a mask most of the time, because it was so cold and it felt like I was wearing like an extra scarf or something on my face. So that was actually pretty comfortable. So during that time, don't let the mask thing deter you. So we got to Orlando. We always take the Magical Express. We don't drive. We like to fully be on vacation and not worry about any of that. So we got to the Magical Express. We did have to go and retrieve our luggage and take it with us to the Magical Express because they're not doing the luggage delivery anymore, which is such a shame because that was so convenient. But you got to do what you got to do. So we took it there. There was nobody at Magical Express. And by the time we got there, got our luggage and got off the plane, got our luggage and got to the Magical Express, it was about 8 a.m. So give yourselves about an hour to kind of go through the airport and get your stuff and all that. Yeah, there was nobody there. We got on the bus, waited there about, I'll say 10 to 15 minutes, and the bus driver said, all right, we got the green light to go. So it was just us in the whole bus, which was beautiful. Felt like VIPs in there. And the bus is really comfortable, and they play a video of like a goofy cartoon, and it just puts you in such a good mood. And then driving through the Orlando area, going to the resort, which was the Wilderness Lodge, just seeing all the greenery and there's a lot of trees and everything around when you're driving. It's such a big difference from coming from LAX and California in Los Angeles. It's very like, a lot of buildings and skylines, and especially the airport area. It's just crazy over there. you don't see any nature or anything. So seeing that, being around the airport over there is such a great difference. It feels really good going on vacation, starting it like that. So now my love for Disney resorts is one of my favorite things is the Disney resorts on these vacations, and Wilderness Lodge is no exception. It's so beautiful. So as the bus was going and you turned right to go into the street that's just leads right to Wilderness Lodge around the Magic Kingdom area, you see the trees just increasing and looking like you're in the woods. Puts you in that mood. Feels so good. And then you see the archway of the Wilderness Lodge with a picture of like a bear. That's kind of like their logo. And your bus goes through it, and you're looking out, and you're just completely secluded. You're like, all right, I feel like I'm about to go camping right now. Luxurious camping. And then again, this was December, so they had all the decorations up, and even during the pandemic, it was fully decked out. So as the bus pulls up to the front of the resort, you see the garland all around the lodge, the beautiful architecture of the lodge, and just the feeling you have is, oh my gosh, starting vacation feeling is such a wonderful feeling, especially Disney vacation where you have so much to do. So it hits you, and you're looking at the lodge and say, I cannot believe I'm going to be staying here. As it doesn't matter how many times you stay at a Disney resort or which Disney resort you're staying, you at least this is how I feel, and my whole family, I speak for them too, is you're always wowed by these resorts and just having the opportunity of staying somewhere where before, like when I was younger, we're not rich, and it wasn't something where we can always stay at the best, the most beautiful and the best. But every time I go and are staying at these resorts, I feel like I'm on top of the world. It's just such a great feeling, especially on a Disney vacation. So it pulls up. We get out of the bus. We have to retrieve our luggage and take it to the bellhop. Now, as we're walking into the lobby, the music hits. So each Disney resort has its own like theme music, and it's like the Yellowstone National Park feeling type music. We see hints of the tree from outside of the lobby before the doors open. So the doors automatically open. We walk in, and you see this huge tree in this huge lobby. The lobby's going, I don't know how many stories tall it is. It's probably about, I think they have like 7 levels in the Wilderness Lodge. It's huge. It's one of the biggest atriums they have at Disney World, and there's garland all around. Everything's lit up, even though we got there during the day, and you see all the lights and the Christmas decorations and the music, and you're standing in the middle of the lobby, and you just don't know what to say or do. You just stand there in amazement. It's just such a wonderful feeling. So in the lobby, if you haven't been before, they have an actual little water feature and geyser coming out. That there's a little bridge, and then underneath it, it's a waterway that goes outside, from the inside to outside. Such a wonderful little feature that they put in that really gives life to the lobby. So we had done online check-in, which is something that they're encouraging everyone to do. So there's no contact at the front desk. However, I wanted to make sure my room request was on my reservation. So I did go up. They did have an attendant there. And I said, hi, we just arrived, and we want to make sure, I want to see if the room requests that we have are available. So the cast member did say that our room is not ready yet, but they didn't have what we requested available. So they gave us the lakeside, which is what I requested, but I requested a higher floor, and we were on the second floor. So I said, is it possible, since we got to wait anyways, to get the higher floor? And she checked and she says, yep, I can put you on the fourth floor. I said, okay, wonderful. So we left our stuff with the bellhop, and then we went to the Roaring Fork because we were really hungry. We hadn't ate anything. And the Roaring Fork is a quick service. We went there and got their breakfast bagel, egg, and cheese sandwich. I think that has bacon too, but I don't eat bacon, so we took that off. That comes with breakfast potatoes, and we got a seat right outside the quick service overlooking the pool. Such a beautiful area. It was such a beautiful day, nice and cool. Say it was probably around 65 degrees or so. Really nice. And the bagel sandwich, it was very good. Again, it had cheese on it. There was arugula on it. There was some sort of chipotle sauce, I think, and tomato, or we added tomato on there. And it was very good, but the only thing that's not as good as I hoped it would be is the actual egg wasn't it wasn't an actual egg. It was like that pre-made egg mixture kind of thing, it seemed like. So that wasn't that good. I mean, the taste was really good, but just knowing that it's not like an actual egg, which I would love with the yolk oozing out of it, that it didn't have that. So otherwise it was good. So after that, we walked around the Wilderness Lodge, across the bridge outside, looked at the waterfall, the pool, so beautiful. And we walked towards Geyser Point, which is their outdoor bar and quick service. Or no, actually, it's like a table service. You do sit down and you can order some food there. And just going out and you see this vast lake right in front of you. It's amazing. And you have a clear view all the way to your left. You can see a little bit of the Bay Lake Tower, but otherwise you're just completely in a different world. You have no idea that Magic Kingdom's right around the corner. So that was really nice. We like to spend some time and look at the lake. We walked around, went through to the Boulder Ridge area, and there's that walkway from Wilderness Lodge to Boulder Ridge. It's like a wooden walkway. It's so beautiful, and they have garland across the top with little lanterns, and this music. It was like a Christmas, mountainy Christmas music. It was amazing. So you walk through. They had these little rocking chairs set up right outside the Boulder Ridge area. So we sat there, and you have a view of all the trees sitting down and rocking there. Just puts you in such a relaxing mood. So we sat there a little bit. Then we went inside the lobby, sat in the lobby, little cozy lobby that has its own little tree, and Walt's, part of Walt's original little miniature train he had in his home. Just spent some time there, and then I decided that I was going to go to Magic Kingdom. My family was very tired because we didn't really sleep taking the red eye. So they went to the main lobby and sat on the couch there, and we were just waiting for our room to get ready. So I went to Magic Kingdom, and then I took the boat from the Wilderness Lodge to the Magic Kingdom, which is such a wonderful experience. It was raining a little bit, but it felt so good. It was refreshing. They had this really nice music on the boat. I think it was the Jungle Book music, and I started kind of singing along with it because I was in such a good mood. Took the boat over to Magic Kingdom, and then getting to Magic Kingdom, it wasn't that busy because, again, we were there in early December, so the crowds had already left from Thanksgiving, but they haven't came for Christmas. I had the spring rolls from the spring roll cart, which was really, really good. They have a pepperoni one and a cheeseburger one. The cheeseburger one has pickles, the burger, cheese, I think some onion and some pickle in it. Really unique. I went on Haunted Mansion. I did Pirates and Peter Pan. Um, all of them were almost a walk on. Peter Pan was a walk on. This was like the first time I've ever seen Peter Pan on a walk on, other than really late at night during like evening extra magic hours that they used to have. So that was really good. And then I got a text, I think it was around 1:30 in the afternoon, that our room was ready. So I headed back to the Wilderness Lodge, Boulder Ridge Tower. We had the fourth floor. Our room was 4565, so it was all the way at the end of the hallway, and uh, one of the YouTubers that I watch, his name's Paging Mr. Morrow. Love that guy. His videos are really good. He had the same exact room. I guess it was like a month before a trip or 2 months or so, and he has video of it, and you could see the view and everything that he had on his video. We had that same exact room, and so you walk in. The room is bigger than the one that we had on our previous trip at Copper Creek, and I like this room better, even though I thought I would have liked Copper Creek better because it's newer, and everything's updated in there. But this one felt like a real cabin feeling. It was bigger. It had that pull down bed in front of the below the TV. It has a sink, that the really cool themed sink that when you turn it on, the water runs out like a little pumped well. You know, those pumps they used to have in a well back in the day. That was really cool. But the view was unbelievable. So you walk out on the balcony. We are facing the lake. So in front of us is trees. Behind the trees is a lake. And then there's the cabins, the Wilderness Lodge cabins, down by the front of the lake too. And surrounding us was all trees. So it felt like we were out in the wilderness. Uh, we were on the balcony. So we spent a lot of time out there. We ended up sleeping for a few hours, and then the evening time we got up and we went to Magic Kingdom to see the decorations at night. And the decorations were beautiful at night. They had the castle projection on the castle for the holidays, which was a really nice little gesture because we're used to having fireworks spectaculars and everything, but because of the pandemic and having to have people spaced and all that, they didn't have fireworks. But it was really nice to see that. We also really love rain. That might be because we live in California, we don't get much of it, but when we're on vacation, we get rain. We are so happy about it. We love to stand in it. We have umbrellas, of course, and we're always prepared, but it just makes us smile. Love the rain, love the parks in the rain, how beautiful it is. So that's something that we enjoyed, and it started raining that night. It was beautiful. And then we spent some time there. We did the Jingle Cruise, which was really fun. I did Pirates again, and then we went back to the room. And for dinner, we actually had kebabs. So right before we came on the trip, I had taken some ground meat. I had put some seasoning and everything in it. It was frozen, and I put it in my carry-on. And so we brought it when we came. When we checked in, it was still frozen. When I gave the bag to the front desk and says this is a cold item, they said we can put it in our own freezer. And then when I got in the room, we had a little freezer compartment in the fridge there. So we put the meat in there, and then at night, we came in the room and I cooked kebabs. And on a little stove. We had brought a little burner, a little portable burner, and a little pot, and I made that, and it was one of the best highlights of the trip. Even though we love eating in restaurants and we don't want to cook on vacation, and the studios, none of them have kitchens, so that's why we brought our own burner. But that was such a lovely evening, and we also had brought some Hebrew National hot dogs, and I cooked that, boiled that in the pot as well, and we had bought some buns in the shop in Wilderness Lodge. So that was a really nice evening. So the next day, which is the second day, we spent some time on the balcony, and then we were going to Hollywood Studios. So Hollywood Studios, we really wanted to get on the Skyliner. So we decided sometime in the afternoon we would get on the Skyliner and explore some of the hotels that are connected with the Skyliner. But we took the bus to Hollywood Studios. The bus it was just us on the bus, so it wasn't busy. We went to, actually, no, we didn't go to Hollywood Studios. We took the bus to Hollywood Studios, and we got on the Skyliner to go to Epcot. It was our Epcot day, but we wanted to go on the Skyliner. Yeah, so that's what we did. The Skyliner was really fun. You go on the Skyliner, it's super quick. It took us like maybe 5 minutes or so to get to Epcot from the Skyliner at Hollywood Studios. That was really fun. There's a lot of airflow in there, by the way. So for people who were thinking, oh, there's no air conditioning on there, the windows when they're open on both sides, there's a lot of wind that comes through there, and it's cooler at that time of year too, so that helps. We went to Epcot, and we went through the International Gateway, so the back entrance. And we went to for breakfast actually to Le Halles. I think it's called Le Halles Boulangerie. Yeah, that's what it was. We like to get their baguette. So they have this huge, long French baguette, and it's like $3 and some change. It's such a great deal. And they toast it for you. We had brought cream cheese from the quick service at our hotel in Wilderness Lodge. We sat there. We put some cream cheese on it. We put some raspberry jam on it and drank tea with it. Oh, it is so good. Having breakfast in Paris can't be beat. So we did that. We went to, let me see. We went on the rides. We went through around World Showcase. We did the Grand Fiesta Tour inside Mexico. We took our time. We went around, and then we stayed the whole day. And at night, I had a reservation at Via Napoli, which is the best pizza you can get in Disney World, and one of the best pizzas I've ever had, actually. We had a half cheese, half mushroom pizza there. So good. My mom got the sea bass, which was not worth it. It was very plain, it was very small, and it was expensive. So she regretted getting that dish. The flavor was not bad, but it was not a good value. Yeah, but the pizza, it's one of those that they have like a wood-fired oven that they put into. It's thin, but it's not like hard crispy. It's very soft and fluffy, and it just has such a distinct taste to it. We also ask for like a garlic oil, so they usually bring us like this oil that has pieces of garlic in it, and we like to dip it in there. It is so good. The cheese, just like when you take the slices apart from the pie, it just stretches all the way. It'll just stretch if you walk all the way to the end of the room, it'll just stretch with you all the way there. So it's a really high quality cheese, and the taste is just it's just so good. Um, which leads me to dessert. Their tiramisu is probably the best dessert in all of Disney World. Their tiramisu is it. I think it was $12 or so, and we had to share it, three adults, and that's not enough because it's so good. But it's a decent size and it's 100% worth it. So I would not miss on that. The next day, this was our Hollywood Studios day. So for breakfast, we actually bought raw eggs from the the shop inside Wilderness Lodge. They have a little refrigerator section, and they do have like a dozen egg carton, and it's just like $4. So that's a great deal. We bought that. We cooked that on our little pot. I had breakfast in the room. That's what we did most of the days. And we actually, whenever we went to Epcot, we would buy extra baguettes so we can have the French baguettes in the room for breakfast with eggs or cream cheese or what have you. So that's a really good thing to do. We went to Hollywood Studios. I had an Oga's Cantina reservation for this day. Oga's Cantina is one of the best parts of Galaxy's Edge. For me, Galaxy's Edge, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and the originals and the prequels. I grew up with the prequels, but then I saw the originals and I fell in love with the originals. The new ones I enjoyed, but the originals are classics, and that's where it's at for me. So when they did a Galaxy's Edge and they decided not to do Tatooine and the cantina from A New Hope and the Ewoks and Luke and Leia and Han, I was kind of disappointed. Galaxy's Edge is a little disappointing to me, just because I was just thinking of all the wonderful things that I could have, all the worlds that I could have visited that I always wanted to when watching the original movies. So, you know, a little disappointed on that front. But the cantina is really nice. We got the fuzzy tauntaun, and that drink is like $14, so it's not cheap. But it's well worth it because it's so unique. It has this white foam on top that kind of tingles and numbs your mouth. So we really enjoyed that drink, and it tastes like a pineapple, like a almost like a pineapple alcoholic pineapple drink. I'm not too much into alcohol, so I don't know the details, but it was still really good. It wasn't super, super sweet, so that was nice, but it was sweet. And just your mouth just starts tingling and numbing, and my family's like, what's going on? Because they didn't know about it, so that was really fun. So we spent some time in there, and then we took the Skyliner, and we went to visit Caribbean Beach Resort, which is a moderate that I had never been to, and I wanted to check it out. Because that day what we really wanted to do is enjoy the nighttime at Hollywood Studios. So we decided to go to Caribbean Beach first and then come back to Hollywood Studios for that. So Caribbean Beach was really, really nice. The only thing I would say is Port Orleans Riverside can't be beat. So that's another moderate. That's one of my favorite resorts, and I just like the theming better there. But Caribbean Beach is very nice and very convenient with the Skyliner. So I wouldn't hesitate to stay there, but it wouldn't be in my top five, just because there is so many great choices at Disney, and I like the other themings better. So we went back to Hollywood Studios, and I gotta say, Hollywood Studios has some of the best Christmas decorations of all the parks, right behind Magic Kingdom. The music, the classic music that they play, they have classic Christmas music during this time. And when you walk in Hollywood Studios down the streets, it kind of reminds me of the era of like I Love Lucy, which is a show that I love. In the old times, the classic, and that's I'm old at heart, so I love that type of stuff, and that was really, really puts you in a great mood. We did the Toy Story Mania, Midway Mania. That's really fun. uh, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That is such a that is that is one of the best attractions that they have in Disney World. I was a huge fan of what they had before that Mickey and Minnie replaced, which was, excuse me, which was um, it was the ride that takes you through like Hollywood scenes from the movies. Um, I do miss that, but Mickey and Minnie's is really really fun. So we had a great time on that ride. For dinner that night, we went to Sci-Fi Dine-In. That's one of our favorites. It's very unique. You sit in one of those convertibles from like the 50s, and it's like a nighttime at a drive-in movie theater experience, and we love going there. It's really really fun. What we got was an Impossible Burger, and I got to tell you, the Impossible Burger is better than most burgers I've ever had. So I would. This was the second time we discovered it last trip. This was one of the highlights we couldn't wait to get back to, was this Impossible Burger. So the pat it looks like a medium, not a well done burger, but like a medium burger, which I'm a well done type of guy, but it's not real meat. So, and it tastes unbelievable. It does taste like, almost tastes like meat, but even better. And it has this huge portobello juicy mushroom on it. That's almost like having another patty, and I don't know, everything just tastes so good. And they have their steak fries. I love steak fries over there, so that is well worth it to make a trip to get the Impossible Burger. So that was the third day. The next day we went to Animal Kingdom, and a lot of these days we're getting to the parks at like 1 o'clock usually. So again, we like to sleep in and then we eat breakfast in the room. This day we didn't eat breakfast. We walked around the resort. This was the day. This was our last full day at Wilderness Lodge at Boulder Ridge. So we stayed in the room a little bit extra in the morning. We went to Rainforest Cafe as soon as we got to Animal Kingdom, and that's also one of our favorites. They have the salmon. I think it's salmon and shrimp that comes with it, but the salmon is one of the best salmons you can get in Disney World. Very underrated. The sauce that they have is the reason to go there. They have this. It's almost like a teriyaki glaze, but it's not as thick. It's a little thinner glaze. I think they call it like a Hawaiian or tropical glaze, something like that. It is so good. Order extra of that on the side. That came with vegetables and rice or mashed potatoes or French fries. I got the rice and broccoli, and that was something that we went to twice on our previous trip because it was so good, and it didn't disappoint this time either. So I highly recommend that. And then we went into Animal Kingdom itself. I went on Dinosaur, Everest, the safari, and the lines. Again, the lines weren't it. Like Dinosaur was like all the way out of the land. So it looked like a really long line, but I only ended up waiting about 25 minutes. So don't let the lines fool you. So yeah, the safari was a walk on too. So we did that. Then we visited Pandora, which is so beautiful. We did a walk on to Flight of Passage, which is arguably the best ride in Disney World. Yeah, it's definitely up there. Walked around the land over there. And then this was our one night at Animal Kingdom Lodge Savannah View. So it was about around 4:30 we left, and we wanted to get as much time in Animal Kingdom Lodge as we could to enjoy the room. So we got to Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it's Jambo House is the main building. Um, that building is closed to the regular resort guests, and it's only open to DVC. So there isn't much going on in there. The shops are closed and the restaurants are closed. But I love the main building. It's better than Kidani. Kidani's like small and cozy, but Animal Kingdom Lodge Jambo House is huge. It's beautiful. It has a similar architecture to Wilderness Lodge. It's just grand, and especially with the Christmas tree that they had there. They had the music on, they had the lights on, fully decked out in Christmas decorations. It was beautiful. We had a view of the main savannah. Excuse me. And being December, it actually gets dark pretty early, so it was already getting dark. So we rushed to the balcony and saw a giraffe and another animal. So there was like two different animals there. The other animal was the one in Lion King that tramples Mufasa's dad. that's that's how I know the animal. I don't know the name of it. Um, so yeah, but we had about like an hour to see the animals. And one thing I didn't realize is the savannah got really dark. Like you can't even see the grass or the trees or anything at night. So if you're there and you're getting a savannah view, um, you're not going to be able to see any of the savannah at night. So if you're one of those that goes to the parks during the daytime, it's not worth it. And personally, for me, the room is very nice, and I like the one of the things that is very important to me is lights. So I don't like white bright lights that they have in offices and stuff. I like the nice warm glow lights. And Animal Kingdom Lodge, their rooms have that glow to them, all their lights. So it's not bright. It doesn't like you don't squint when you turn it on first thing in the evening or waking up. It's one of those nice dim glow lights. So that's I really like that. But as far as getting Savannah View, that's not worth it to me. Not worth it. We sat the next day in the morning. We sat as much as we could on the balcony, but there was almost no animals there, except just about maybe like 30 minutes. A giraffe and a zebra walked towards our area, and we could see like a good amount of the savannah. So, um, but even if there was a lot of animals on the savannah, just the fact that nighttime you can't see anything on the balcony, like not even like any little amount of glow or lights, ambient lights from anywhere, to be able to see something from your balcony, even like a tree. We weren't able to see that, so I don't think it's worth it. Um, I would say I've stayed in the Animal Kingdom DVC studio, the value rooms. If you can get one of those, they're so low in points that it's totally worth it. Um, and usually Animal Kingdom Lodge, it is a very nice resort to be at, but compared to the other ones I've stayed, I much prefer the other resorts to Animal Kingdom. So, especially because it only has a bus um, to the parks versus the other resorts, the deluxe resorts I've stayed at. They have like a boat, which I love boat rides, or you can walk to one of the parks or what have you. So, I wasn't too fond of Animal Kingdom Lodge. Um, but in any case, that night for dinner we got the bread service to go from Sanaa. That was from Kidani Village, the DVC um, building that's connected to or right next to Jambo House. Um, the bread service is one of our favorite things to eat. Has all these different non breads, garlic, 9 types of dips. That's something that shouldn't be missed. Um, as far as the actual food at Sanaa, I've had like their salmon, and I've had a wrap from there too before. And we've also had the dishes where you can pick like 3 different types of dishes, like veggies, and a chicken or a beef dish, and they were all good, but I wouldn't go out of my way to eat those. But the bread service is worth it. So I would be happy just going and get the bread service, and then that's it. Like, you don't have to eat anything else. Um, so that was. Oh, actually, we had the bread service, and I actually went to Disney Springs that night and got Earl of Sandwich to go and brought it to the room. And Earl of Sandwich, their tuna sandwich is really good, and so is their broccoli cheese soup. Um, the bread is very unique at Earl of Sandwich, and it's very fresh. So that's something that I highly recommend is Earl of Sandwich, and especially their broccoli cheese soup. Um, as far as the beds and the pull-out couch, they were comfortable. Um, the only thing is it didn't have that pull-out trundle bed under the TV. So, like, again, we were three adults, so two adults would have to sleep next to one another on one bed, and then another adult. So, just keep that in mind for the DVC rooms. The next day, I went to Epcot, and one of my go-to dishes here is and it's something I share amongst us, so it becomes a snack for us, which is the kids salmon in the Land Pavilion. This place called Sunshine Seasons. The salmon is really good. The kid salmon. It's a little piece of salmon, and it comes with green beans and rice, and then you can also get a drink with it. Um, that's a really great value. It's like $7 and some change, but the salmon has like these herbs that it's marinated in, and then the rice I usually substitute for yellow rice, which is really good, and the green beans are really fresh. So that's a great little um, snack for an adult to get, or if you're not that hungry, it's a good meal. And then we like to go on Living with the Land. That's one of my favorite rides, especially to ask for row one, and I like to take my shoes off on that ride. It's really comfortable. It's nice, really nice scenery. It's relaxing, and it's good to going on a slow boat ride after a meal. So we did that. We love Soarin'. Soarin' is really fun. Definitely did that. That's also one that I like to take my shoes off on. So if you're one of those that's sitting in a row behind us and under, so when Soarin' starts, the row in front of you goes above you. So if you see a foot dangling with no shoes on, that's probably my feet. So enjoy that one. But they don't smell, so don't worry about it. Sometimes. Okay, so we had, oh yeah, the fish and chips. So for actual lunch, we had fish and chips, the Yorkshire County fish and chips in the UK Pavilion. Best fish and chips I've had ever in my life. Um, the fries are thick. They're not that thin like standard Disney fries. They're really thick and really crispy and moist inside fries. Oh, so good. And the batter they use on their, I don't like fish and chips, but this is I've always tried it at different places, and this is the only place I will keep getting fish and chips from. The batter is really good. It's not like that grainy batter. It's like a very smooth and crunchy batter. It tastes really good, and they give you two big pieces with a bunch of fries, and it's like 11.50 or somewhere around there. Great value. This was during the time we were on this trip. It was a festival of the holidays, so they had the food booths all around World Showcase. So some of the food items that I got, there was this fish dish with like okra in it, and it was very very spicy. And the fish, I think it was a bass. The fish was very fishy, so I wasn't too fond of that one. They also had this frozen s'mores drink that was really good. It was almost like a chocolate shake, and it has marshmallows on top and a graham cracker. But the actual shake didn't just taste like a chocolate shake. It had that marshmallowy flavor to it. That was one of my favorites. Um, We also had the what's called the latke. It's a potato pancake and a jelly donut beer. The potato pancake, from the reviews, I heard it's really good, but it was like tasteless. So I didn't like that. The jelly donut beer, I'm not a beer drinker, but some of my family is. And so my brother enjoyed the beer, but I felt like the beer tasted like, had a aftertaste of Dimetap, like that purple cough syrup drink. So it's like a beer with a Dimetap flavor. So I didn't really like either of those. So that's what we had that day. And then we took the Skyliner. So here's the thing. So when you're in World Showcase at Epcot, it's easier, at least for me, to take the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios where the buses are right there and then go to your resort versus walking all through World Showcase to the front through Future World to the front of Epcot to get on a bus to go to your hotel. It's definitely easier to take the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios and then the buses are right there and then go to your hotel. So we did that and we got to the Polynesian. The Polynesian for me is the creme de la creme of the resorts. So Polynesian, as soon as you get there, and this was, they had construction started, so you can walk through the front of the building to get to the lobby. You have to go through the side. But typically, the front has all these greenery, this little waterfall area. It's really beautiful. And then you see the tiki torches as you walk in. Just puts you in the Hawaiian mood, relaxing mood. So we got there, and then we went by the pool. So you get to the pool first, and you can see the castle from the pool, and the music, the Hawaiian music that's playing, the torches all around. Just you feel like you're in heaven over there. We walked towards the beach area. So again, from the beach area, you could see the castle. You could hear the horn from the little boats that take people to Magic Kingdom, and then the music. The music is one of the best themed type of music for resorts that I've been in, and I think it's just because like Hawaiian music puts you at ease. And this time they had the holiday Hawaiian music, so that was really nice. So we walked across. The bungalows were right there. And we get to our building. Our building is Moria. And that's the only building that has lagoon view rooms for DVC studios. So we ended up with the second floor lagoon view. I requested the third floor, but the second floor is good too. So the second floor, we got in the room. The room, this is the best studio you can get on Disney World property. The room is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, studios you can get, and it has two restroom areas. Only one toilet, but the other one has a shower. So there's two showers, one toilet, and the shower in one of them is a rainfall shower, which I'm a huge fan of, like walk-in showers. I don't like the shower tub combo. I think that's crappy to me. I don't know anyone that uses a tub in a shower tub combo. I think it's kind of disgusting, but yeah. The room is really big. The colors that they have in the room, it's a red, orange, brown, cream colors. So relaxing, really relaxing. And then the art that they have a mermaid lagoon art. They have like tiki room art, and they have the pull down bed below the TV, and it has a picture of Lilo and Stitch on a Hawaiian like island, like laying down in a hammock, and it's really nice. And by the way, every night, since we were three adults, the rooms that had the pull down bed, one of the adults would sleep in, and it's a good size, like an adult can fit, and we're pretty big adults, so it's not. I actually prefer that bed to most of the pull-out couch beds, even though those pull-out couches are like full or queen size. And the pull-down bed is just like the trundle bed is like a twin, but it's comfortable. So that was really nice. But the view, oh my God. I think the lagoon views at the Polynesian are the best views you can get in all of Disney World. Um, you see the castle right in front across the lagoon. The bungalows, when you're on the second level or higher, they're not in front, like blocking the whole lagoon view. On the first floor they are, but higher they're not. So you can see the lagoon, you see the bungalows, and you see the castle, all the greenery across the bottom of the castle from all the trees, the monorail line, the monorail going across. All the way to the left, you can see the beautiful Grand Floridian. To the right is the boats, the big boats that take people from the transportation center to Magic Kingdom. Um, and just something that I experienced is I've read all about like people complaining that honking of the boats is like really loud and disrupts things, but when you have the door closed in the balcony, you don't really hear it in the room much. It's very subtle. So it wasn't an issue at all for us. Um, but yeah, and then because you're in that building, Moria, which is all the way on the right of the property, it's right next to, it's like maybe a 4 or 5 minute walk to the transportation center. So most of the time we would just come out, go to the transportation center, and take the big boat to Magic Kingdom, or they also have the little boats on the other side, the left of the resort. So you could take those, and that's kind of like cozy little boats. We like doing that too. Um, so that's the Polynesian. Um, and then for dinner that night, we went to Chefs de France in Epcot. Um, this was one of the best dinners we've had at Epcot. We got the salmon. We started with the French onion soup. You have to get the French onion soup there. It is so good. It's a huge bowl, and it was like $9, I think, $9 or $10 as an appetizer. The cheese is very thick, and as soon as you put your spoon in there and you pull out some of the soup with the cheese stretches all the way to your mouth. So that's also very high quality cheese. Tastes so good. Um, the broth is a dark onion broth, and it has pieces of their bread in there. It is perfect. It's not overly salty. I know some food that I've had over the years, some of it can be really salty. This was perfect. I would not miss this, and it's piping hot too. And then for dinner, we got the salmon. Salmon was unbelievable here. So the salmon had a little bit of uh, a basil pesto sauce drizzled on it, and then beneath it, it usually comes with rice, but I got mashed potatoes, and I'm so glad I got mashed potatoes because the other person in my family got rice, and the rice was whatever. The mashed potatoes were very creamy. So it had mashed potatoes below it, and then underneath the mashed potatoes, all along the plate, it had this cream, like a lemon cream sauce. So good. It's like a butter sauce. And then it also came with some veggies. I think it was either broccoli or green beans. I'm not sure, but either way, one of the best meals I've had there. Salmon was cooked to perfection. Sauce was amazing. Mashed potatoes was great. A lot of times when you go to Chefs de France, in the past I've had to put salt on things because they don't. I guess maybe it's a French thing. I don't know, or maybe it's just that they don't do it there. But it's missing a lot of salt usually on their dishes. But this was perfect. So good, so good. We went back here again actually on our last night. because it was that good. Okay, the next day we enjoyed the resort, went to the pool, um, walked around, went to the gift shop at Polynesian, which is probably my favorite resort gift shop in Disney World. So don't miss that. Um, we walked from the Polynesian to the Grand Floridian. One of the most beautiful walks you can have in Disney World is that stretch where you go along the private beach between it, and you can see the castle and everything on the way. And you'll pass by the wedding chapel there too. Really, really nice. Went to Grand Floridian. It was my first time purchasing a bath bomb. So they had all these different bath bomb, like the balls. One of them was a Pirates themed one, so it's like a blue one. And it says in the middle of the bath bomb, when you put it in the bathtub, there's a surprise inside. I read it had something to do with like a pirate medallion or something. They also had one, there was a red one that had like rose petals inside of it. So when you put it, like rose petals come out. That's something I never knew about. That's the shop upstairs in Grand Floridian that sells all the soaps and everything. And it was only like $5, and they take annual pass discount there too. So that was really nice. And then we went to Magic Kingdom from there. I went to Magic Kingdom just for a little bit because I wanted to have a nice evening at Epcot that night. And again, the parks aren't open till like 10, 11 p.m. Luckily at this trip, I think Epcot was open till 9, which is like the regular time pre-pandemic, so that was nice. Went to Magic Kingdom. I love just walking down Main Street, listening to the music, the holiday music, just people watching, getting a snack, going by the castle. And then Pirates is probably my favorite ride, so I usually like to do that. Peter Pan, of course, too. But this time I didn't even go on a ride. I was just there for the atmosphere. One of the other things I like to do is go by the Tangled area between Haunted Mansion and Peter Pan, and it has the Tangled Tower with the really nice bathrooms, but they have a seating area there. It's so beautiful with music, like music from what era would that be? It would be like the Camelot era, one of the swords and the knights of the round table and all that. They have that type of music over there. It's really, really nice. So went there, came back, took a boat ride back to Polynesian, and that night we had dinner at San Angel Inn at Epcot. But before we did that, we went and got a snack, aka the kids meal at La Hacienda de San Angel. That's the quick service in Mexico, and we got the empanadas con queso. That's like a little puff pastry filled with cheese, and it comes with chips and a drink as a kids meal. And again, usually these kids meals are like between like $7 to $8, so really great value as an appetizer or snack, especially if you're splitting it between like a few adults. But the empanadas are really good. The cheese is really good inside. I asked for a side of like salsa to dip it in. The chips was really good. The queso, the chips, I think the chips came with queso. So it's like a cheese. You dip that in and a drink. That was a great value, really good. And then we went inside. We went to the Grand Fiesta Tour, the boat ride, which kind of almost reminds me of in Disneyland for Pirates of the Caribbean. The beginning, you're on a boat ride that goes through the bayou and the restaurant on the other side. San Angel Inn is a restaurant inside with overlooking that ride that has almost like a bayou-like area. So we went on that. Then we went to the restaurant and we had like a water view right next to the water. So that was really beautiful. And the reviews we read about this restaurant is not too good. But in August, it was the first time we dined there, and we had the chicken dish. So it's like a chicken breast, grilled chicken breast on top of this creamy corn sauce with garlic potatoes beneath that. Um, and I think there was cojita cheese on there too. So good. It was so good. We went there twice on our last trip in August. But this time we came and we got the same meal. But the type of chicken breast it was a little different. It was like the wing one that had a little wing attached to it. The flavor of the actual chicken wasn't as good. So I don't know if they had changed maybe the brand of the chicken or what have you, but it wasn't as good. So I didn't like it too much this time. It was still a good dish, but I wouldn't make it a point to go back to it again, unless they bring back the flavor or the type of chicken they had last time. The menu stayed the same, so it didn't change. It didn't say anything different on the menu. So I would give it a try because it might be really good. Again, we've been there 3 times. 2 out of the 3 times was that type of chicken that I did like, and the flavor was unbelievable. So the next day we went back to Epcot. One of the dishes at the festival booths they had was these little shortbread pecan cookies. That comes in a little case. It was like $4, and that was really good. It's like a butter cookie with pecans in it. They had a gingerbread shake that I got, and it wasn't creamy. It was like an icy almost, with a gingerbread flavor and a piece of gingerbread in it. And it was like a healthier drink, it seemed to me. It was good, but that frappuccino, or not frappuccino, what was it? The s'mores shake was much better. I also had, they had their chicken tamale was not worth it in the Mexico booth. And that was pretty much all I had for the booth that day, the booths. In the evening time, I went to Magic Kingdom to look at the decorations again, and Big Thunder. We did that. That was really fun. This night I discovered the best rocking chair in Disney World, because some of the rocking chairs you sit in, they don't rock too much the way it's designed, but this one like easily rocks back and forth. So this is in front of the trading post in Adventureland. It's by the Country Bear Jamboree. The rocking chair is so comfortable, and you have the Western atmosphere and rocking back and forth at night, especially. It's so relaxing, and I'm a huge Back to the Future fan, so it kind of reminds me of Back to the Future 3, which is one of my favorite movies, the Old West. It puts me in a really good mood. Probably the best snack that we got is the pistachio chai tea swirl. Oh my God. We got this every time. After I got it this time, every time we went back to Magic Kingdom, we got this. It's a frozen chai tea with a pistachio ice cream swirl, and then it has a cake pop sticking out of it, a red velvet cake pop that's really moist. It is so good. It's not this snack is not overly sweet, but it is sweet. The pistachio ice cream has like a hint of pistachio and a light vanilla flavor to it, mixed with the frozen chai tea. If you ever had the frozen chai tea in Animal Kingdom, it's like that, but not as sweet. Because when you mix it with the pistachio ice cream, it has the perfect sweetness to it. It's so good. Has a little bit of a cinnamon flavor to it too. And then the red velvet cake pop was very moist inside. That was really good. I couldn't get enough of this. This is hands down the best they've had, even compared to the Dole Whip. Usually I like to get the vanilla swirl. Dole Whip is good too. I'm not a huge fan of the Dole Whip though. I like it, but I wouldn't go out of my way for it. I like vanilla better. but this was takes the cake of everything. So that was really good. We also went to Animal Kingdom at night, and Animal Kingdom at night, especially in Pandora. Actually, that's all we had time to do that night, is just to see Pandora. Was unbelievable. When Pandora is lit at night, you're in a completely different world, different planet. The sounds that they have of the different animals and the ambiance, the different lighting, the lit up floors. I think they redid the floors, so it really shines at night when they have like the UV lights going on, and it just feels like a living, breathing land. Really, really beautiful. We only got in 30 minutes before it closed, but they didn't make us leave. We were there probably for like an hour and a half. So you can, as long as you can make it in there before they close, you should be able to just enjoy the ambiance of the land for like an hour, hour and a half. So that was really, really nice, and I would highly recommend experiencing Animal Kingdom at night, especially Pandora. The next day we went back to Epcot, did some of our favorite rides like the Land and Soarin'. We didn't do Frozen this trip because the line just was like really, really long every time we went by there, and we've done it before, so it is a nice ride. I do enjoy it, but didn't have to. Didn't feel like I had to go on it. One of the things I did discover is the beauty of the UK pavilion. This trip we went, and I love visiting the tea shop in the UK pavilion. And then behind the UK pavilion is this garden area. And then there's a place where Mary Poppins meets, and it has all these like British buildings surrounding this courtyard with greenery and benches. We sat there, and we could have just sat there for hours. It was so beautiful. The trees that they had, the leaves were turned orange, and the leaves were falling slowly, and it was nice and like chilly. And you had like the nice calming like music. It felt like how can I put it? It felt like you were in like a little village in like the UK, with the tall they had the white buildings on all around, the tall almost reminded me of the Port Orleans, like the plantation buildings, but with like a royal flair to it. And the little steps. It's just really nice to sit back there and just enjoy the ambiance. I have to say, one of the things that I need to keep reminding myself of is to slow down and just enjoy the area and just sit in different areas. You really just enjoying Disney like that because they're so good with their details and putting you in a different place wherever you go, and taking you away of the beauty of an era or a theme. So good. So good. So I discovered that. So we sat there. And then we went to Paris. Is it Paris or is it France Pavilion? It's France Pavilion. Okay, so we went there, and next to Les Halles Boulangerie, there is the ice cream shop, Le Artisan de Glace. And I haven't heard anybody talk about this dessert, but it's one of the best there. And I'm not talking about the macaron or the ice cream sandwich, which I don't like the ice cream sandwich. It's like just bread on ice cream. To me, it doesn't taste that good. It's called a café glacé. Café glacé is like a coffee. I think it's a cappuccino. No, or maybe it's a latte. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with coffee drinks. I don't really drink coffee much. I'm a tea guy. But it's a coffee with a scoop of ice cream in it. So it's like a float, but it's with coffee and ice cream. And it is so good. So people that aren't too fond of coffee, or even if you are, I think this is like the perfect thing to drink or eat or whatever you would call it. It comes like a vanilla ice cream, creamy hint of coffee flavor drink. But I eat it with a spoon, you know. So it is so good, so good. This is the second time we've gotten it. Um, Love it, love it. So that one was $7, seven and some change, but it's a good amount, shareable. The next day, which is our last full day, we wanted to explore Fort Wilderness. We've never been to Fort Wilderness, and again, one of my favorite things to do is to see the different resorts, stay at the different resorts, compare them, see what I like. And we took a boat to from the Polynesian to the Magic Kingdom, and then the boat ride from Magic Kingdom to Fort Wilderness. And Fort Wilderness is like Wilderness Lodge, but like really, really camping feeling. Like not like luxury camp, but like outdoors, like really outdoors, really beautiful. I didn't really have the desire to go here, but when I got here, I wish I would have gone and visited the grounds here every time because it's so beautiful. There's so many trees. You go there, and one of the first things you see when you get off the boat is there's like a huge like little a huge like cabin. And you get closer to it, and it's actually their gift shop. You go inside. It's this nice sized gift shop. I got a pin from here. It's a little Mickey. It says Fort Wilderness on it, and it has his raccoon hat on. Really, really cool. One of my favorite pins. But yeah, we walked the grounds here. It has a lot of trails, so if you like hiking, this is a good place to go to. Walking amongst the trees, then we got to the area where they used to have the Hoop-de-Doo Review, which is a very famous and longest running show, live show, comedy show that they have. Unfortunately, it hasn't came back, and I don't know if it will. But we went there, and we went inside. They have this bar slash quick service area, and you go inside, and it's such a wonderful theming. It's really like you're at a bar in the Old West. Like they have Davy Jones, or not Davy Jones, Davy Crockett, like pictures, and it reminds me of like old classic like Disneyland history. Davy Crockett, because I've seen the videos of like the Disneyland show before Disneyland opened, and Walt and Davy Crockett being there on the opening day and all that. So that was really nice. I really wish and hope that I'll get to go there when it's like fully open and people are there and nighttime. Um, so yeah, we went there, walked along, and then we came across, which I had read about but I've never been to. Is it Tri-Circle D Ranch? And it's Disney's ranch where they have their horses. This was unbelievable. So they have the stables and the horses, all different types that they keep here. That you can actually like ride a horse around over there, like a little pony riding thing. We went and they were showering one of the horses. It was so cool to watch that. You can pet the horses. They had huge ones. They had middle-sized ones. They have some of the history of like the horses in Disney and using the horses in the parks. Really friendly, really nice. That was a really great experience. And then just walking around, the area is huge. They have an internal bus system. So they have like tent camping areas. They have actual cabins. It's huge. It's so beautiful though. I would definitely go check it out, just as another thing to do. Really, really fun. And then so we went back to the hotel. One of the things we had was from Captain Cook's, which is the quick service at Polynesian, was the Thai coconut meatballs. Those are really good. Highly recommended. We went to Magic Kingdom that night, and Um, did some of the rides there. Again, a lot of times there was like long lines, but it was still a walk on. Like the lines just kept moving. So, and the ride times, like if it said 45 minutes, it was really like 20 minutes. 30 minutes is the max we ever waited for something. So that was really nice. And then um, the next day, which is our day that we're leaving, we decided to go sit on the beach. It was a rainy day, so what we did was we went and got some food from. We took the monorail all around the monorail resorts. Then we went to the Contempo Cafe, and got their Caesar salad and their chicken sandwich. We took that to go, and then we came to the Polynesian, sat on the beach in the rain, put the umbrellas up, and had our meal on the beach overlooking the castle in the rain. So, so beautiful. And it's always surprising to me to see like there's like no people around in some of the most beautiful places in Disney World, and it's like, do people not know about it, or is it just like is it a hassle for them to come to these areas, or like what is it? But so such an amazing feeling to be at these places and see the beauty of these places. So um, yeah, that was definitely a highlight. That was pretty much it. And we took the Magical Express back to the airport, um, and Delta was great, and had a great time. If I had to do it all over again, I would do the same thing that I did. So I wouldn't change a thing. Um, so one thing, going forward, I'm gonna have more episodes talking about DVC and the hotels, the what I've experienced. So I'm really excited for that. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of the Disney World Vacationer. Again, I'm your host, Tiki Lagoon Sam, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.